I've walked by myself for 50 years. Or I know how to walk by myself. I'm like, I'm not saying you don't know how to walk by yourself, but you're literally not walking by yourself. You're with me. Live, laugh, or run away. Hello, dear. What are you doing today? I'm Gary.
I'm Georgie. What are you doing
That's
today?
my British accent.
You sound like Julia Child. I
I just thought I would start with my British accent. I mean, your British accent, my interpretation of your British accent. You're British.
Which was nothing like British at all. Every British person's cringing right now.
If you don't know where that's referencing, you got to go back a few episodes to listen to that. But how are you doing today?
Good. So I'm going to talk about how...
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Appreciate it.
Don't care. Just kidding. Don't care. No. So I got to stay on task. Okay. So if anybody else has a spouse, significant other, whatever, that you bring things up and they have to go like the full pendulum swings and breaks off and is still going, that's scary. So if I bring up something like, for example, this is something that happened recently. So we were going to meet our daughter and her dad out for dinner. And she was in town. So we met at Tex Tubs, like a good Tex Tubs.
Which is a nice Mexican place.
It's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
In Madison.
So we were going to meet Dane and Ari at Tex Tubs. So we're heading there. First of all, I'm driving. And look, I know my driving's not great. Okay? Especially because I haven't driven, because I didn't have a car for like ever in a day.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, you got a car now, you can drive.
Yeah, and I was like, great, because then I don't have to have a neck brace when I get out of the truck because the shocks are not super great.
It's a truck.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Well, it hurts. Just kidding.
Wear your neck brace.
Yeah, well.
That's why I got it for you.
Yeah.
We're going for a ride in the truck. Get your neck brace on.
So it's really packed on Atwood. So trying to park was, like I'm fine walking. I'd rather walk than try to, my car isn't lonely. It doesn't need friends. So I, missed a couple parking spots, whatever. And we end up parking down the block.
I mean, I like to get a mile walk in before we go to dinner.
Be quiet. So we get in there and I had said to him like, hey, have a, make sure that you can talk more. Like, not that you don't know how to talk. Like, I'm not talking to you like you were like 2. But I was like, hey, your stories can be, really, like just be you or whatever. Yeah. I don't even know how we even got onto it.
It's not the first time you've mentioned it. And you're like, you should talk more when we're out in groups. And I'm like, I mean, generally speaking, the people that we're out in groups with, if you don't have a master's degree in jumping in, you may not get a word in edgewise. I mean, a lot of ADD people, a lot of topics get flying, a lot of dolphining happening. Yeah. So, I mean, and I generally, if I'm going to say something, I have something to say.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm great listening. But you're like, you need to talk more. I'm like, okay.
So we're sitting at the table, and he's talking about work or something. And was it about work? No, it was about lens. Yeah, it was about you going to Lens Crafters.
It was my Lens Crafters story. I mean, I thought it was a good, it's relevant. It just happened. Yeah. It's interesting,
But it's you and I. So you already started the story, and then, Ari comes in.
Yeah, you're like, wait, you should share this story.
Yeah, I was like, you should wait.
When Ari gets
you're
here.
limited on your amount of words that
so
you're
I started my story, and then I was told to stop. I'm like, okay. I'll pick that back up.
So she comes in, and he starts in on a story, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, I'm thinking, well, I want to see how her drive went, from Minnesota, blah, blah, blah.
So you've already got the conversation in your head of where it needs to go and how long it needs to happen. So, of which I don't have any privy of any of that information.
But so she doesn't even know like what he's really talking about, you know, because you kind of jumped in like where I like, you know, was like, hey, wait. So you didn't like start over. So then I had to give I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm a control freak. Maybe.
Oh, that's silly. Don't say that.
Maybe I am overly involved in your conversations or stories, but
I mean,
it was kind of going on and on.
What? There is some continuity that has to be defined. There has to be a start of the story, the middle of the story, the end of the story, like getting to the point. And you know, for somebody that likes, I mean, all the years we've been married, you're like, tell me, how was your day? And I'm like, good. And you're like, can I get some details?
Yeah.
For all the times, the hundreds of times you said, can I get more details? I actually tell a story with
but
details.
You were talking really slow.
Lots of details. And now it's like,
no, you were talking super slow.
I was not talking, like, timing, like, so I went
to
Lens.
No, but it was just like, it was very
something
slow.
On the wing,
and I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
Thing.
And there was,
I was not
you were William Shatnering me.
No, I was not. I was not trying to get more FaceTime.
I don't know.
Lens crafters. No, I was not doing that. Like, how was I talking slow?
I don't know.
Your mind was going fast.
Oh, okay, so very true.
Mark Gungor talked
about
that.
There are a lot of videos out there, TikTok, about people watching people talk and having ADD being like, could you just freaking say what you're going to say?
People watching people talk, one person at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, can you get to the point? And you lose people in their minds.
Yeah, I'm already on to like something.
You know why
else
that happened? That doesn't normally happen with me because I don't usually provide too many details, but it's because
I said something.
I already started something, and you're like, I already heard this part. That's why you were thinking that. But, so I was probably laying the foundation again, and you're like, can we get to the point here?
That is a good point. Mm-hmm. That's something. But yeah, so there's that. And then the other thing, Gary and I were going for a walk.
Well, just to recap on that, though.
I'm like, on to the next thing. You're like,
could we... Thing. Like, just to recap, you're like, hey, when we're out in the groups, can you be a little more talkative? And over decades of time, and you're saying I don't give enough details.
How many years?
Decades of time. Decades of time.
Centuries.
I mean, feels like it sometimes, apparently, when you said I feel like I'm with somebody that's 100 years older than me.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And then, when I bring a story in a context, as asked, prescribed,
as
fulfilling
recorded.
my duty as a good husband and a good person at a table of discussion, then you were like, your story's too long.
I mean, it was going on and on and on. That's what it felt like. That's all I'm saying.
I don't even think I finished it. I don't even think I got to the end of my story. I don't think I got to the conclusion.
I don't think you ever did. Because then Dane walked in.
And it was just...
And then...
So, I don't know.
So, how did that story end? Anyway. So, LensCrafters...
Now you want to know?
LensCrafters left Easttown. And it didn't even let you know. Like, when you looked it up on Google...
Yeah, so LensCrafters always was at the Easttown Mall.
Yeah, let's use mall loosely.
Easttown, empty building
stores.
Space.
Yeah.
A group of collection of vacant spaces. Mall.
With a store here and there.
And it always was there, so when I booked my appointment, I'm like, it's at Easttown Mall. LensCrafters Easttown Mall. Great. So I'm running, it's during the day, so I'm like tight on time. Get to the mall, I walk in there, and I'm like, pretty sure it used to be right here. I kind of, it's been a year, I only go once a year. I'm like, I kind of feel like it was right here. I'm not seeing it here. I walk further down. I'm like, it definitely wasn't this far down.
Were you second guessing yourself?
I'm like, so I went back to the email I got. It said, yep, Easttown Mall, LensCrafters. And then I'm like, directions, push the directions button. and it brings up East Washington Avenue. The whole thing. I'm like, so it's on East Washington. Well, great. East Washington Avenue is like 7 miles long. Where on East Washington Avenue? And so I finally was able to like get on the map and see, oh, it's across the way. So
Okay.
I went across the way, and I found it in its new location, across from the street from Easttown Mall.
And did you say anything to anybody?
Yeah, I said you might want to update your communications to say where your address is.
And
your
what'd
new
the lady
location
say?
is. She's like, oh, okay.
That's it?
That's it.
Just
I mean, the customer
basically
service.
giving you the middle finger.
I mean,
is that what's up?
I don't know.
Okay.
Customer service nowadays is a whole nother thing.
It's rough.
And I don't understand why it's so difficult. Like, we are going to own a coffee shop at someday, and you're all invited, all two of you.
Yep. All two of you.
But I like
Or
from the
maybe you have
get-go,
a friend
it's going to be
before.
you greet your customer that comes in the door with a cheer, with a happy smile.
Yep.
If they say something to you, you respond to them.
Yeah.
You know, if they say something isn't to their satisfaction, you respond and say, great, love that feedback. Let's see if we can make that better. Oh, I'm sorry you had that experience.
Yeah.
It's not even that complicated.
Mm-mm.
I mean, today, went
Yeah.
to a coffee shop today,
Yep.
right? And, you know, coffee shop. What do you think, our audience, our two listeners, what do you guys think the atmosphere of a coffee shop should be?
I personally think it should be kind of chill, cool, like
Relaxing.
relaxing.
It comes to mind. A
you're
coffee shop.
chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little,
Yep.
like, nice music maybe in the background, very light. It's not heavy metal playing or something like that.
Heavy
Not
metal.
a concert going on, but it's like, it's relaxing. You got your coffee, you got maybe a fireplace in the corner, you know, some nice pictures on the wall.
Yep.
It just feels good. Cozy would be great,
Yeah.
right? So we go to the coffee shop and we're talking, and all of a sudden there's this wham,
Yeah.
slam, bang. I'm like, what? I almost jumped out of my seat. I'm like, what was that? And one of the workers was like, I don't even know how he made that big of a noise. I think
I
he was
honestly
getting
don't know.
ice and slammed the ice. I don't even know. Slammed the ice thing down. It was loud.
It was really loud.
And I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, not like he was like, "Ooh, hey, sorry."
He was a young kid,
Nope,
right?
didn't give two rips.
Probably late teens. I don't know. Pretty young kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell how old people are.
First of all, I don't need to be jumped out of my seat because of a loud bang. I'm like, what's happening? It's a coffee shop. I'm trying to have a conversation. And then when you went to leave, you're like, thank you. And what did he say?
Nothing.
He
Zip.
said nothing.
Nothing. Didn't look
he
up.
Did. I think his
Oh,
eyes
did he?
did look up.
And then didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But he also slammed around a couple more times too. And I was thinking, wow, like even if you're not in a good mood, just be in a good mood.
Well,
If you smile and you're having a bad day, I guarantee you by the time you get done with work, you won't be
listen,
in a bad mood.
we're all fried. We've come out of a pandemic. Everybody
Ari's favorite word.
fried. Fried.
Yep.
Listen, we've all been coming out of a long, people have forgotten how to be people out and about, forgotten that you have to interact with others. But specifically, and I'm sure everybody's got 1,000 stories of their interactions with, people on the customer service side of a business.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a difficult thing, in my opinion, to say, before you start your day, before you open your doors, remember, you don't know what kind of day people had, especially a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Maybe they've had the worst week.
Yep.
And maybe your smile and greeting and, glad you're here, encouraging comment might be the thing that cheers them up for the day. And all it takes for you is just say, hey, glad you're here.
Yeah.
And when they leave, you'd be like, hey, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
I know. Why do I feel like I'm working? Like if I go check out at the grocery store, I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, am I working?
Right.
Are you the customer and I'm working? Is it?
Have we lost, like, as a manager of a place, like, it's a small thing, I think, to just reinforce that. Granted, we have younger kids. Like, if you're in your, mid-teens, late teens, last 5 years, look at it, pandemic, right? 2020, you probably have not been engaged in, like, what it's like to be a proactively good customer service experience.
Right.
But what is the manager's excuse? Unless the manager is also less than 25 years old. I mean,
which
maybe
Maybe.
we're in that cycle, but for those that are managing customer service related businesses, take the time.
Yeah.
Teach people, like upskill them, because a little bit goes a long way.
Well, it's training, right? So as we were walking to this coffee shop, it was like 3 hours.
I know walking with me can feel like it's a lot.
It
but
was 3 miles, kind of like
round trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Gary was trying to kill me.
Oh, geez.
By crossing streets, and he's like, "You have to follow me," and I was like, "No."
All right. Amateur walking hour. Kenton, thank you very much.
Yeah, Kenton.
No, just kidding. But no, really, it's like when you're so I was like, stay with me, follow my lead when we're crossing a large intersection.
No,
like stay with me, because you're like I've walked by myself for 50 years, or I know how to walk by myself. I'm like, I'm not saying you don't know how to walk by yourself, but you're literally not walking by yourself. You're with me. So follow my lead. Like, there's confusion that's caused. So it can be caused, right? So
yeah, by you running out in front of people and assuming they're going to stop.
They may or may not stop, but we're keeping an eye on that. But we need to stay
Are
together
we?
as a team. If one goes, we both go.
I don't trust
Or
that.
you're just like letting me go out there, and then I get run over, and then you're like, all right.
Yeah, see? And that is why I didn't go out and walk. That's why I wasn't crossing the street.
Just follow my lead. You're like, absolutely not. I'm like, just follow my lead. Absolutely not. I'm like, what do you mean absolutely not? She's like, you follow my lead.
Yeah.
I'm like, we'd be stuck at that intersection for a long time because you don't think anybody's ever going to stop ever. Like, we ain't got that kind of time.
Look, I almost die going in that roundabout every dang day.
In a car.
In a car.
I know.
A big old car, and people can't see me. I'm going to trust with my black jacket, my black hat.
Follow my lead.
Yeah.
Same thing on the way back. When people are like, well, that was the car's. So a person behind us was going to turn in front of us as we're walking, right? They're turning right, and we're walking on the right side in the sidewalk. They stopped. I looked back, and they're like waving us to go ahead and walk across. Great. But there was another car turning left that as soon as she stopped and we start walking, they were like right in front of us. Like, oh, they thought that was for them.
Yeah, they didn't care. See?
But
And that is
what happened in that? I'm getting ready to walk across. I look, you're like 10 yards behind me. I'm like, stay with me. Follow my lead. We're a unit here.
Because
So you're stopped. That guy probably like, well, she stopped. I'm going to go. I'm going. So let's just follow the lead. Absolutely not. So are you going to follow my lead?
maybe.
I think there's a deeper, we should probably talk about this at a deeper level. You're afraid for following my lead on things. Like, you're afraid that I'm going to lead us into being run over by a car.
Well, I just think you trust people a lot more than I do.
I'm just, I'm a nice guy. Why can't we trust people?
Yeah.
Trust them.
Yeah, you'll become a
I'm still here.
piece of a roadkill there.
So the lesson is, Georgie does not trust you. Any of you. Nobody.
No, because people are on their phones.
Or
They're doing
me.
anything and everything. They miss lights.
This
Because
makes a
they're
lot
on
of
their
sense
phone.
here. Like, when we were taking dance lessons, I'm like, you're like, why are you stopping? I'm like, you're not following my lead.
Yeah, you're like, I'm the leader.
I'm-
I said
I'm
I was
the-
the leader.
I'm leading, and you're like, why aren't you doing that? I'm like, you're not following my lead. I'm like wrestling with you. Like,
I know.
I can't,
I know.
follow me.
We're sweaty.
It's a cry for help.
We're all sweaty.
I'm here for you, though, Georgie.
Thank you.
I got you.
Therapy will help
Follow my lead.
if I went.
Where I go, you go. Where I lead, you follow.
I know. They're like, who's leading? And you raised your hand. And inside my head, I raised my hand.
Inside my head, I raised my hand. She's like, he thinks he's leading.
Yeah.
Behind me, she's like, no, it's me.
I know. And then we had to dance with other people,
Yeah.
too. And I tried to wrestle them, too.
I mean,
I didn't care.
common denominator.
Me.
So next time we go for a walk, just stay with me. If we go down together.
Yeah.
It's romantic.
Maybe you should do what we did with the dogs so that they would follow us, is you'd put a leash on them and then
A flexi
tie it around
leash?
your waist. And then anywhere you went, they had to go. Remember? So then they stayed right by you.
Yeah. All right. Next time I'll put a leash.
Put a leash on.
I can't see that. That sounds terrible.
Why?
I'm leading my wife with a leash because she doesn't listen to me.
Yeah, so she's got to learn.
If she doesn't listen from the leash, bad things could happen.
Weird.
Well, I don't know. What do you guys think?
You almost get hit every day?
Are you following my lead?
Following your man's lead.
Do you get
My
told?
women.
Do you get told like your stories? You don't talk enough, and then when you do talk, it's too long. Where's the happy medium?
I don't know.
Let us know. Reach out to us on our Facebook page or Instagram. Love to hear from you.
It's a me thing.
It's a me thing. Well, together, we're better. Or I get run over by myself, and then you're better.
Yeah, because then I have life insurance.
Life insurance. All right, until next time.
Great, now that's on there.
Wah, wah, wah. Sure, it'll be pulled up in some future. Yeah. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.